The man's name is George Beverly Shea. And to know him, you have to begin here, in Winchester, Ontario, Canada. Winchester is located about 30 miles south of the Canadian capital of Ottawa. George was raised in this home, which remains today as a Canadian landmark.
I was a boy back in Ontario, a little white church. Dad would announce the Easter hymn, and the people would start to sing, and Mother would sing so heartily next to me. I guess I didn't do much singing. I just kind of bit the back of the seat and tasted the varnish. But then there came a day when I began to realize that Christ arose for me.
He was one of 8 children born to Maud and the Reverend Adam J. Shea, a prominent Wesleyan minister in a rural community.
I remember at age 18, I needed another touch from the Lord. And my dad came down from the pulpit during invitation time. There was another man was a guest speaker, and he put his hand on my shoulder and he said, "Son, perhaps you better come forward tonight." And you know, whatever Dad did, I loved him so much.
Later, after his family moved to the United States, it was his mother's turn to influence him.
Way back when I was just 23 years of age in the parsonage in New Jersey, taking those vocal lessons in New York and having an occasional shot on radio, you know, not knowing what to do with life. Yet Mother and Dad were not much to preach in the home, but they did live. And Dad did his preaching in the pulpit. But Mother had a little cute little way about her. She'd find things and put it on the shaving mirror, you know. But she found this gorgeous poem by Rhea F. Miller, and she wrote out in her own hand and put it on the piano, because she knew I had a habit of going to the piano first thing in the morning, you know. And I come down early on a Sunday morning, I saw those words, "I'd rather have Jesus than men's applause. I'd rather be faithful to his dear cause. I'd rather have Jesus than worldwide fame. I'd rather be true to his holy name." You know, it had the effect that she hoped. And I just had to sing those words, and so this melody came to mind, and that's how it was. He's fairer than lilies of rarest bloom.
Soon after this, another woman entered his life, and Irma Scarf eventually became Mrs. George Beverly Shea.
I was 16, and she was 16. And, but you know, we were never married until we were 25.
The couple would go on to have 2 children, Ron and Elaine. George continued to sing in public when the opportunity presented itself, usually at church, but occasionally at other community gatherings. This led to a successful audition and subsequent offer from an NBC radio program called Your Hit Parade. But George turned down the offer because they would only allow him to sing secular music. Shortly after, however, George got an opportunity with Decca Records to record hymns and other gospel music, which he accepted. His rich voice soon caught the attention of radio executives and earned him a role with WMBI in Chicago, the country's most popular Christian radio station. It was through WMBI that his singing talent made George Beverly Shea a household name across the nation. One of the people most impressed with George was an enthusiastic 21-year-old evangelist named Billy Graham, who, as legend has it, boldly showed up at WMBI one day and talked his way into the building so he could meet the famous singer, Bev Shea.
And at that time, to be honest, no one knew who Billy Graham was. Billy Graham was, in all sense, a nobody. I mean, no one ever heard of him. He had a church that had no building, only had a basement. But everybody at that time had heard of George Beverly Shea. I mean, he was the voice of voices. I mean, the man had an impeccable singing career.
I said, and Billy, the only gospel singer I've ever heard about, would sing a verse or two and stop and talk a while. Would I have to do that? He chuckled. He said, "I hope not." Then I said, "I'd like to come with you." That's how that happened.
Because of George Bev Shea's immense popularity, Billy Graham inherited an audience for his considerable preaching skills.
When we break the law of God.
By the late 1940s, the two were joined by music and choir conductor Cliff Barrows. They formed an impressive trio that had all the characteristics of a popular swing band. They were all tall, handsome, and had remarkable talent. Billy Graham, the mesmerizing orator. Cliff Barrows, a likable and charismatic host. And of course, George Beverly Shea, by that time the preeminent gospel singer in North America.